8,962, 8,963, 8,964.
Oh, hey. So I did a poll with 4 completely different options to decide what this video would be. 3 in which I am actually a part of, and 1 where I am not. And of course, majority chose the one I am not in.
I lost.
Am I crying inside a little about it? Yes. Am I gonna give my people what you want? Also, yes, of course, because with great power comes great responsible coping. Either everybody has finally had enough of me, or we all just simply love to glaze the Spiderverse movies like creamy old-fashioned donut holes. Speaking of holes, this. Yeah, this ought to be a whole lot of fun. Right? Because, no?
Right, sorry.
All right, now go, hurry. Grab your favorite snackies and sit in your favorite spot. Nah, I got you so good, didn't I? Oh yeah, look at your face. Yo, calm down, bro. It's just a joke. Good times, good times. All right, we're even now for you guys not picking a video with me in it. Anyhow, let us swing through the time Miles Morales in the spot packed up and violated the spot. So it all started with this definitely up to something devious looking creature known as the Spot, a title which he gave himself because at this point, nobody knows who he is, including his own family, for rather obvious reasons, because there just ain't no way he came out of his mother looking like a black hole. So he enters this corner store with the utmost zest and asks Mark Henry where the ATM is. The world's strongest man spills the info he needs without even looking up, and Spot gets right to business. He removes one of his holes and places it on the ATM in an attempt to reach in and grab the money, showcasing one of the powers in all of comic book history. Remember being a kid and people would ask you what superpowers you would choose? The go-tos were usually super strength, super speed, invincibility, being able to fly, different things of that nature. But there is just no way anybody would ever say, to be able to remove my holes and use them as portals.
That has to be just about as sus as it gets.
He tries to grab the money, but instead grabs a canned good. Wow, this is even worse than we thought. Okay, so he doesn't even know how to control his holes. Usually that comes naturally to humans. So yeah, okay, got it. It's now confirmed he's an extraterrestrial. Yeah, so that would also explain his inexcusable drift. Like, come on, bro. You already did all this. You might as well just throw on some damn pants. He continues to reach in, grabbing everything but his main goal. Then the ATM falls through one of his spots and half of it ends up on the sidewalk. Mark looks back and sees the ATM that's supposed to be in the back of his store outside. Dotted starts jumping on the ATM like a bouncy house, as if no one is gonna notice he is the worst villain ever created. Dude looks back and gives him the craziest look like any normal person would. Grabs a bat and says,
"Yo, what you doing back there, man?"
And Spot desperately continues trying to squeeze the ATM through his hole. God, this feels so weird to say. Who wrote this script? You? Oh, yes, of course. This doofus then summons the nerve to say,
"1 second, I forgot my pin."
Like, bro, you are jumping up and down on the machine repeatedly. Nobody is falling for that. Mark has had enough. Someone ring the bell. He goes full-on Extreme Rules match and starts swinging the bat relentlessly. And right away, it's apparent that Spot lacks any type of combat abilities because instead of turning around to scrap back, he folds like his empty wallet, falls down and says,
"Wait, stop, please, sir. Just let me rob you."
Again, I don't know what world he came from, but obviously he thinks free eats is a normal occurrence.
Speaking of eats,
Finally, Miles spawns in, and instead of shutting down the conflict, he starts microwaving a breakfast burrito. Bro is cockier than me. Quite impressive. After showing Spots the correct way to make an entrance, Miles wastes no time and asks the questions that need to be asked.
This is real. So are you like a cow or a Dalmatian? I am the Spot.
No shot. How do you expect anyone to take you serious after introducing yourself by hitting this? What is this emote? Instead of making his enemy feel fear for his life and the safety of others, he makes him laugh. Not because he cracked a valid joke. No. Miles is laughing at his very existence. Yeah, not gonna lie, Spot. Getting violated like this before a single punch being thrown is wicked work. Listen, villainy isn't meant for everyone, but you did make him laugh without even trying. If that isn't a sign from the man upstairs to pursue a comedy career, I don't know what is. While Miles is enjoying the show and his beef patty, he goes 2 for 2 on great questions. So, is that a costume?
Unfortunately for both of us, this is skin.
Oh, dang.
that's rough, buddy.
For whatever reason, Spot still believes he's the main antagonist in this movie, so he starts trying to set up an origin story flashback that nobody has time for.
You see, I'm from your past. 1 year ago.
Hold up. Miles gets a text and tears down his flashback attempt along with his dream to be his greatest nemesis. And I just know he would be crying so hard right now if he had the eyes for it. He looks at the text, and we all know the fear that comes with text like this. Unless you're like me and don't have a dad or uncle to text.
Everything's meant to be broken.
Uh-oh.
You just have to know your trash when your opponent is more scared of what his parents might do to him if he's late to his school meeting than you. As soon as he reads that, he finishes up his beef patty, masks up, and locks in. Starts flipping straight bullets at Spot. One goes through his face hole, comes right back, and hits Miles in the face. Technically making the first recorded damage dealt Miles on Miles. Also probably foreshadowing how this entire fight's gonna play out. My prediction is it's most likely gonna be Miles and Spot versus Spot's hole. He pulls SpongeBob's crib off his back and struggles to remove his webs for so long they have to roll the "I was bitten by a radioactive spider" monologue. And on behalf of all of us, I promise you, we do not care. It cuts back to the hardly a fight, and Spot is putting his all into every punch, while Miles is texting. I don't even think bro is aware of how disrespectful he is being right now. When you text and drive, you endanger yourself and others, but I'm not even sure we can call this distracted scrapping, because he's winning. Bro put his weaves on autopilot. After he sends his text, he puts his phone back in his secret compartment that us spider people aren't allowed to talk about, and throws the first real punch of the fight right to the gut. But his hand goes through his belly spot and comes out through his face hole. And this looks quite uncomfortable for everyone involved. Miles figures out how to grab his head and throws him off the bus onto the street. Aha, I get it, because you don't have a nose. I'm telling you, man, comedy might be your calling, because this certainly isn't. Miles walks over, still on his phone like he's the first Spider-Man with brain rot, and all of a sudden Spot can control his powers, because he opens a portal below him and sends him into a void. Not even 1 second passes of him falling into this endless abyss, and all he cares about still is reaching that thumb. Not gonna lie, I know this isn't quite how it works, but we might have to demote you to Gen Alpha with an attention span like this, bro. Whole time this is all going on, his mom and dad are in his principal's office at the meeting he's supposed to be at, waiting for him to show. So that explains why my boy is stressed. He falls out of the void through a portal and shoots a web through it that somehow grabs Spot, who is observing a game of chess, questioning his own existence. Is this what I'm supposed to be? Is this what I am? Maybe I'm not the Spot. Maybe I'm the chess. He gets yoinked through his own hole and opens another one on his way down. Most likely not on purpose. Bringing Miles down with him. It cuts back to the conference where Jeff is staring at his phone waiting for Miles to respond. And if only he knew he was in the middle of the goofiest fight ever fought. Because what in the Looney Tunes type scenario is this? Right behind them like this too is crazy. They fall through a portal that spawns them at a car wash, and it looks like we have a triple threat match on... They fall through a portal that spawns them at a car wash, and it looks like we have a triple threat match underway, folks. Because this goose that looks like he could be Spot's sidekick is thrown into the fight. After they go through the spin cycle, they spawn at a new location again, and this time it's a coffee shop called Foam Party, which is ironic because foam. Everywhere. Goosey lands a peck on Spot for pretending to be a part of his species. And what do you know, it looks like Spot can be a valid arch nemesis after all. This little kid takes off his Miles Morales mask after witnessing this phony Foam Fest fight and says,
I don't think I want this costume anymore.
I can't blame little bro. He sounds like he's older than him anyway. This is where Miles finally decides it's time to lock in. He slings himself towards Spot and pins him on the ground. Another portal opens up and they fall through, landing on a rooftop. I don't think I've ever witnessed a fight with more setting changes than this one. Spot reaches into his shallow bag of mystery moves and pulls out the best attack we've seen from him yet.
The Black Hole Mirage.
But Miles ain't texting no more, so he dodges them all, catches his fist, and makes him punch himself in the face, gifting him his very first successful attack.
What a kind young man.
And I don't know how the hell he pulled this one off, but he counters with the most disrespectful reverse I have ever seen. He uses his own holes against him by webbing all of his body parts through them and then weaving a perfect web. How did he figure out and master your power before you? This is a different type of trash we're dealing with here. This pat on the head was the cherry on top and could not have been a better ending to this joke of a fight. But I guess this L just wasn't fat enough for Spot, because listen to his last line.
Don't escape.
Your costume's too tight in the back, by the way.
Whoa! Spot! Oh, he is 15, dude. You gotta be well into your 30s by now. We cannot let this one slide under the rug, Chester the Jester.
6.5 hours later.
Miles finally gets to the meeting, acting any and every way besides natural. But thankfully for Miles, all anybody cares about is that you're getting good grades so you can graduate after 12 plus years of school, to go do more school that you have to pay thousands of dollars for, to graduate with a degree that you'll never use, to end up working a low-paying job that you hate while paying off student loans until you retire when you're 80. That's just how life is meant to be lived. I did it, everyone I know does it, so you have to do it too. And don't question it, or anything for that matter, just comply like a good little sheep. Huh?
Stay on script.
Cut! The meeting is going pretty smooth. Miles has all A's and only one B in Spanish, which obviously upset his Spanish-speaking mother. But yeah, other than that, being able to hold mostly A's while being Spider-Man is no easy feat. And trust me, I'm speaking from experience. I failed a handful of classes. Not because I'm not smart or anything. It's canon for us to be smart. I just didn't see the point of trying. None of it seemed important. I've learned more important information that I can actually apply to my life from people on YouTube, and more valuable life lessons watching anime than I ever did in school. Stay in school, kids, and Eat your green vegetables.
How was that?
Miles' spidey senses start to tingle, and I just know he's like,
Swear on Uncle Aaron's grave, if I look up and see that dotted dimwit, I'm retiring Spider-Man and becoming the new Prowler.
holy shit, okay. Nah, not doing that, but still, this guy's gotta go. Miles excuses himself without a good reason and dips from the meeting he was late to. Then as everyone's trying to figure out what his deal is, Mr. Morales gets a call about the commotion and also sees his way out, leaving Mrs. Morales alone with the principal, father like son. That's all I'm saying. Miles runs into his apartment, throws on his spidey suit, says what's up to Genki, and as soon as he jumps out the window, he gets leveled by the ATM that started this whole debacle. And as Jeff is running outside, the automated teller machine lands on his company whip, which clearly doesn't faze him because that ain't coming out of his pocket. And then Miles and the Spot spawn right in the car. Like, there is just no way. His powers make no sense. I'm about to just start calling him the plot hole. Miles says, Officer Morales. Officer Morales. And again, I'm sorry, there's just no way Jeff hasn't pieced this puzzle together yet. Spot and Miles start getting tossed in and out of a ton of Spot's holes, and then Spot expresses his frustration with getting bitched up earlier, saying,
You left in the middle of our fight.
I did no such thing. It was after. I agree with Miles. He left after he beat and embarrassed you for 10 minutes. Him and I were both positive that was the last time we were going to see you for the rest of the movie.
It was inconsiderate and super rude and a little cocky.
Miles' dad says,
You got me agreeing with the bad guy right now.
but man, he has no idea that my boy packed this weak-ass villain up while texting him and his wife, and then rushed to the school meeting like his life depended on it.
That guy, he's barely a villain of the week.
What'd you call me?
Jeff grabs Spot's leg to pretend he's helping, and they all fall through a Spot portal. They get spit out right into a water tower and then onto the ground. And realistically, this should put Jeff out of commission. He may be a hero, but he is not a superhero. He has no powers. He is basically as useful in this fight as any other middle-aged male civilian. They end up at Alchemex, which is actually where the Spot was born, to keep a long story short. And then Spot catches Miles and they start tumbling and tussling through more of his holy portal. As they're falling, Spot asks Miles if he remembers what he did to him and the reason they are enemies. And Miles has absolutely no idea what he is yapping about. Jeff refuses to be left out of this fight, so he makes a gutsy play here by risking it all and swiftly making his way down these steps. He then ends up climbing down a ladder, feels his phone going off, and drops it, only to make this nasty snag. And as he's about to tell his wife he's a little busy trying not to die, Miles and Dippin' Dots come flying through a Spot hole and take out the ladder. He starts falling and barely grabs the ledge. I'm not gonna lie, I take back what I said about him being a regular civilian. He is actually built different. For having no powers, these are some impressive ass feats. You have my respect, Mr. Jeff.
Mr. Morales.
He doesn't lose his grip, but the wood plank folds and snaps, leaving Jeff falling to his demise. Thankfully, Miles and Spidey's senses are on that, and he webs him up safely without breaking a
A
sweat.
little something light for my boy.
Spot and Miles go tumbling to the ground as Spot continues rambling about this being their destiny, saying,
Face it, I am your nemesis.
No, you're not. Face that, faceless. Then the plot hole somehow unlocks a new move. He grabs his Spots and starts throwing them like they're shuriken, and he's a Genin from the village hidden in the hole. Miles weaves them like Toby and Spider-Man 1, shoots a web by him, which Spot thinks was meant to hit him, so he says,
You missed.
Nah.
Yaha? What? Yaha? Yes, you did.
We at least gotta give him this guy. He is one persistent little a-hole, isn't he? Because after getting crushed by this rubble, he says, You really don't remember what you did to me? What I did for you? Oh my god, wait. I think it's coming back. No, he takes us, the audience, through one of his little flashback holes, and we find out before he was whatever he's supposed to be right now, he was just a regular scientist who ran a failed test that ended up bringing a radioactive spider from another universe into theirs. And said spider is the one that bit Miles and made him Spider-Man. So Spot, the Spot, is the reason that Miles is Spider-Man? Wow, very unexpected plot twist. I can kind of see how, through Spot's eyes, through Spot's face hole, he sees them as arch enemies because he created a superhero but became this. Yikes. Wow. But wait, it gets worse. Remember the famous bagel throw from Into the Spiderverse? That was him. That bagel really hit the spot. I can't believe I'm actually understanding where Spot's coming from right now. This is why backstories are very important, because so help me God, if somebody hit me in the face with a bagel, I am getting my get back by any means necessary. Spot might be up there with the saddest antagonist backstories, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is worse than your older brother murking your entire bloodline and keeping you alive to relive the pain over and over in a never-ending cycle of hell and hatred.
Actually, I don't know. It's definitely close, though.
Miles then says,
I've hit a lot of different villains with a lot of different food.
Make your flippy, sassy little jokes. Everyone loves
You
them.
really do love them, huh? What, did you say flippy and sassy? You know, that is a very zesty way to describe my quipping, Zester the Jester.
I created you.
You created me.
Spider-Man, why did you create that guy?
What? I did not. What are you talking about? I did not create this thing. Whose side are you on, anyways, Dad? Jeff, Officer Morales, sorry because of you.
I lost my job,
Damn.
my life,
Damn, bro.
my face.
Oh!
Oh wow, what a freak! Who created this thing? It definitely wasn't me, I can tell you that much.
Then he starts to lose it and rage uncontrollably like a kid that got banned on Roblox for life as he starts sprinting towards Miles and Mr. Morales. And just when you think the tables are about to turn, his holes malfunction, he literally kicks his own ass and defeats himself.
I am your nemesis!
Miles and his dad stand there absolutely baffled. And Jeff says,
Well, where'd he go?
Inside himself? Pause.
What an anticlimactic but fitting way to wrap up one of the goofiest fights of all time. The big bad black hole was defeated not once, but twice in the most embarrassing ways possible. All thanks to Miles, Officer Morales, and of course, the spy. Whew. God, that's over. I mean, did you guys have fun? I had fun. We should do this again sometime. Soon. But let's maybe pick a scene from a movie I'm in so I can give you a more accurate and detailed breakdown of the experience. I mean, guys, there's a ton of options out there. There is so much content to choose from. It is quite overwhelming. So per usual, let Spidey know what you guys want. Who knows? I might choose it, but no promises.
Fine, I'll snap, certified, Spidey slap. Even though I pull my punches, my ops end up in a pack. I really feel like dodging punches. Spidey says he got my back, my back, my back. Oh, my back. No one wanna fight me, it's like they all think I'm sick. That damn spider didn't bite me, I would still be King Quick. Back flip, flip, flip. It's all in the wrist. You won't live a good life if you can't take a risk. Flip, flip, swinging, flipping through the sky like I'm not barely getting by. Here there's no such thing as time. Skip, 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 skip to school to almost die. Like have I lost my freaking mind? Not to worry, I'll always survive. I got talents I can't hide. Sitting triggered on my spine. See Spider watch me climb to 1 million subscribers.